All right, let's get started. Uh, so let me kickstart this session by saying that let's have a lot of fun during the session. There are not, because of COVID, there are not that many topics which we can talk about without getting a bit worked about it. But relationships is one topic where, at least for now, we don't have to worry too much about. So do try to have a lot of fun during the session. Feel free to bring your most wackiest, silliest, most ridiculous self forward. And we will still keep waiting for people to come. All right, yeah. Before that, so there's a disclaimer that because intimacy is part of the session, so there will be a little bit of adult content, and I'm assuming everybody is 18 plus. Just in case there's anybody who is not uh, 18 plus, please, you'll have to drop off. Although I doubt that would be the case. Also, we are recording the session. Hope you're okay with that. Okay. While we are still waiting, let's get started with I'll come to the introduction and the agenda of the day in a bit. Let's get started with a fun warm-up activity. And sorry. So what we're going to do is we are going to do fun, silly forecasting exercise where I'll give you a prompt about a fictional world, and we'll add a real world driver to it. And you have to tell me in 1 minute. You just have to come and talk impromptu for a minute about that topic. And the audience can, if the speaker is not continuously talking, the audience can give them prompts and clues, asking for questions that might help the speaker talk more. So once I get to the slide, it will become clearer what the exercise is. But for now, I just want a volunteer who would be willing to come up to talk impromptu on a topic for the first topic. So you can just unmute yourself and just let me know who's interested. Praveen, you are up, and I'm going to give you a prompt. You just have to talk about it for a minute. Is that all right? Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
Am I audible?
Yes, properly audible. All right. So this is the prompt. Let me explain it, and then Ankit will start the timer. So this is the prompt. How might cryptocurrency shape how Uncle Scrooge's vault look like in 2030? So, right? So, all clear?
Yeah.
Awesome. And audience, feel free to unmute yourself and just start asking him questions whenever he stalls. All right? You don't have to raise your hand, just speak.
Okay. So I just go with it.
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. So when Uncle Scrooge in 2030 have cryptocurrency as his property, so his vault will be just filled with pen drives, I guess, with all the codes of crypto encryptors.
Yeah.
And he will be just diving in among them, and then he'll have the launch pad to not who will be who might be crashing all the crypto servers all the time. And his nephews, they become crypto hackers, where they just go into different countries crypto servers of cryptocurrencies, and they try to mine it through very shady means. And the adventure with the whole Scrooge family goes with that, like the tales moves with cryptocurrency. Okay. What else I could say? Crypto, and maybe then the whole building of Uncle Scrooge will triple down, or will be maybe 10 feet below the earth also, because there will be servers below server farms below his vault, where he is mining more and more cryptocurrency and getting richer further.
Amazing. How how much could you think in such a short time? You remembered Launchpad also. I'd completely forgotten about that person. Wow, that was impressive. Mining of cryptocurrency, pen drives, amazing stuff. Very good. Very well done. Perfect. Perfect. All right. Who's coming next? Molly. So who's a Harry Potter fan or a Silicon Valley fan? One of those. Yeah, Molly, you're up. All right. So, yeah.
For the cryptocurrency one?
Cryptocurrency is done. How about either Harry Potter or Silicon Valley? And then I'll give you the problem. Pick one. Which one?
Oh, let's go with Harry Potter.
Awesome. Nice. So, how might, so you have two options, pick one of those. So how might Dash mean for the future of Hogwarts? So by 2030, how would Hogwarts look like? And you can pick one of those drivers, either AR, VR, or learning from home. So how might AR, VR, what might AR, VR mean for the future of Hogwarts? Or you can talk about what might learning from home as a trend mean for the future of Hogwarts. Yeah. And Ankita, I hope you're keeping the time. Do let us know. Yeah.
Huh. I mean, that one's hard, right? Because like they already have magic. So
yeah.
How would they use AR and VR when they have magic?
Yeah.
Or learning from home. Like what? There's some kind of like wizard quarantine thing happening.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm going to kind of flip it and say that I think if we want to bring more to our world, like the magic of Hogwarts into education, it would be a lot of augmented reality and virtual reality where you kind of see science brought to life in this very playing with time kind of way, like things happening very quickly and magically, and you can sort of see elements and things happening in front of you, kind of like using this science is magic idea, but bringing it into your home with augmented and virtual reality.
Right. Yeah, that was good. Yeah. Anybody wants to add any prompt questions? All right. I think, that was good. Thank you so much. Yay. All right. Last one. And who's up? Mehran or Ilyana?
I will try just because I just finished rewatching it.
Awesome.
So I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
Okay, so what does it say? It's 2030 and Eric is alive. He's in China. What's he doing? Describe how his life looks like now. Oh gosh. Now is in like, oh, it's 2030. Okay, so now future. Gotcha. I think that Jin Yang is still trying to find him. So Eric Bachman is in hiding because Jin Yang, from what I remember, he took his persona in the last episode.
Right.
And so he took over basically his identity. So Eric Bachman doesn't have an identity anymore. He's something else. He has a new name. But he's still kind of in hiding because Jin Yang has basically grown his empire and is still looking for Eric Bachman, the fat man. And so Eric Bachman, even though he's still in hiding, he still tries to find ways to make his life rich in any way, like using shortcuts and trying to manipulate people. But you know, it never really turns out well for him, but he's still alive. And so he's continuing to do what he does, just in hiding.
Oh, nice. That was great. And how are things around him? Like, it's 2030.
Yes.
Yeah.
How are things around him? I guess, I mean, from what I remember of the show too, like it progressed maybe like 10 or 20 years. So things are things are still the same, right? In terms of like nothing is like, we don't have flying cars or anything like that.
Yeah.
But maybe there's like, maybe Jin Yang wanted to create like what was it, like the networkless internet again,
Yeah.
and trying to take over the world. I feel like Jin Yang would have a bigger part in 2030 because he's just so determined.
Yeah. So it's wow. So it's 2030, and the part is completely. It was anyways. It had already tilted towards Jin Yang, and look
Yes.
at what he did. He even made Alec Bachman be in hiding because of him. Awesome.
I think so, yes.
Awesome. Good job, everyone. All right, we'll get started with the session now. Okay. So in the chat, if you can quickly pin the relationship trends or philosophies that you are following or you're most curious about, that would be great. Like when you thought of attending a session of future of relationships, what brought you there, and what are the type of things you yourself are following and interested to know more about. And but I'll keep get going. You can keep typing your response in the chat. About myself, I'm the founder of Startup Jul2020. I conduct design thinking and speculative design workshops. I did a lot of workshops last year. Most of them design thinking one, and later I moved to speculative design. Still new to speculative design. I do not have a background in either design or futures thinking. My background is more on business administration, and I worked in corporate for lots of years in different departments. My interest in future thinking was mainly because of the books I've read from Alvin Toffler while I was growing up. So Carl Shift, Wave, all of those books. What I am most interested in is actually one is trying to start conversation among general public, people who are not from this field, as well as social dreaming. So what I literally like, what I want actually is to use future thinking to start these kind of conversations, but then have everybody kind of daydream together in terms of what type of world we want next, and how can we move to the type of world that we want using this as a starting point to dream aware reality. All right, so these are, like I said, I'm still new to speculative thingy, so these are some of the workshops that I've done. All right, let's dive into what we're going to do today. So what basically the end result of what we are going to do today is you will be walking away with a one paragraph forecast. Like we'll be forecasting about what the future might look like. What's our hypothesis is what things might look like by 2030 in terms of relationship, and the output would be like a one paragraph, like by 2030 this and this happened and how it happened. We'll have a format for that. But that's the end result, and we will be following a process to do that. And we'll be doing that as a team, and you'll be picking one topic within relationship. Which one do you want to go for? Like future of dating, future of parenting, future of marriages, whichever you want to pick. So the process that we are going to follow is pretty simple. So I'm not going to use the jargons. If you're already from the field, you'll understand what's written on the slide. And if somebody is not from the field, I'll just use simple words. So what we're going to do is I'm going to read out to you around 10 to 12 news articles. These articles are about things which have already happened, which are already happening in the field of relationships. May not be a big trend as of now. Some of these are already big trends. Some of these could be in their early stages, but the point is these things have already happened, and we are going to extrapolate if this becomes a norm, how would things look like. Okay, so the news articles that I'm going to read out to you are mostly going to be in the field of technology. Some are about scientific breakthroughs, and a lot of them are within these categories, but it also depicts kind of the weird behavior, weird consumer behavior, the weird behavior of the society, like which might look weird to us, but it's not actually. All right. So, and when we come to the forecasting part, which will be the last 30 minutes, we'll be diving in this forecasting thing. And the next few minutes, I'm going to read out to you those news articles. Okay. So I hope the agenda is clear for everybody. The next 25 minutes, I am going to read out to you a couple of news articles about things that are already happening in these fields. While you are reading out those articles, while you're listening to those articles, just keep thinking in your head, how would, if something like this happens, becomes a norm, like if you extrapolate this to future, what is the implication of it? Just for everything you hear, just keep thinking of what is the deeper implication of this thing. All right. And then I'll give the instructions again on how we'll be creating a photo. My expectation is that for anyone who is kind of a beginner in this field, although I doubt if people here are beginners, but then basically for you to have a process which you can apply for anything. So even in your organization or community, you can apply the same process that we're going to do today to create this kind of conversation. So if you can collect just n number of articles about your field that you're interested in, and then apply the same exercise that we're going to do today. Okay, so good job here, everybody. And I'm going to basically the 4 things that you selected, you can drag and drop those here. Just drag and drop your 4 shortlisted ones. Don't be very strategic about it, because basically the point is any 4 you pick up, you'll be able to come with some new insight. So just select randomly or select the ones that you're excited about and just be done with it. Don't spend too much time on this. Then once you've shortlisted that, I want you to think about the pattern between those 4, only those 4 shortlisted signals. What's the pattern between them? And what type of world we are moving towards? If those 4 comes true, not all 4 you'll see the pattern. Maybe 3 has one pattern, another 2 has some other pattern. So keep writing those patterns down. So and then write which type of world we are moving towards from X to Y. So I'll give you an example from another industry. So when these smart wearables were coming in market, all these smart watches and these health apps and everything, everybody was predicting the quantum self, the arrival of the quantum self, like that people would be measuring every thing about their health, and they'll be tracking their every activity, and they'll be super conscious about it. And so basically, in that case, the drivers of change was we were moving from a world where we know a little bit of our health data, but we are mostly dependent upon practitioners for getting our bio details. But now we're moving to a world where people are conscious about their matrix, they're tracking it continuously, they know about it. Okay, you got an idea, right? So basically, pick any 4 and see what's the pattern emerging out of it, and keep writing down. You'll be able to write down like this. Keep writing down which what's the pattern from these. If 2 of these are just become say, a norm together, then what kind of a world we are moving into? Okay. If there is any doubt, just send me a broadcast message and I'll be there. But I think this would be clear when you start doing the exercise. And the last exercises, then you'll be writing the forecast. So during the forecast, basically, you just have to write by 2030, this will happen. 2030 is like you can pick any year. And the way you'll come up with that is from these drivers of change, what's the common thing that's coming forward, and what does the world look like if these drivers of change are true? Okay, so by 2030, parenting will look like this, maybe because this happened. You'll find the causes here and what affected it, and you'll write a story here. So this is kind of a rough format that you can use. So by 2030, dash 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 is the norm now. And how did that become a norm? What was the trigger that caused it? So for example, right now, let's say for right now, if somebody was writing for 2020, so they'll say, 2020 work from home, during COVID crisis, work from home became a norm, and it was the health crisis which caused it. even after the COVID thing ended, a lot of people ended working from home itself, while a small percentage of people went back to the usual thing. And in this type of world, people who your living environment matters a lot as compared to earlier. People who do not have a stable home environment, kids who are orphans or do not have a stable home environment are at a disadvantage. Something like that. You'll get to know once you get to this part. Again, so anywhere you faced out, just send out breakout message and I'll come out there. I might even come to different breakout rooms if Zoom allows me to. Is it clear or is it sounding too confusing at the moment?
I think a little bit of the latter.
Confusing. Okay, I'll just show you the instructions slide. Okay. Okay. First, I want you to decide which feature you want to focus on. Second, I want you to shortlist any 4 signals from the ones that you saw in first column. You can drag and drop those to another column. Right? As soon as you'll see those 4 signals, you'll start having these discussions on, okay, what's common between these 2? So for example, if you club the one about remote dating and something completely different like the gene matchmaking, what's common between them? Like what might be a pattern that you can see? Like remote dating happened because maybe remote dating is a norm because there is still a health crisis in 2030. There's some health crisis still going on in 2030. And gene editing is, that's why given so much of preference because health is a priority for people and people have to take more precautions than they used to before. So now you're getting, so every time you see those 4 signals, think if this becomes a norm, how did that become a norm? What's common between these 2 things? If both these things are together true in 2030, what's common between that? Okay. I know once you start doing it, it will become very obvious. Like the discussion we were having, we were kind of doing the same thing. We were finding pattern between one thing to another. We were linking that. So again, then after that, you just have to tell which type of world we are moving towards and then focus. What I'll do is I'll choose, even if I know it's sounding confusing, I'll send you in the breakout room. If you find any problem, I'll be right there if you send me a broadcast message. Sounds good? Okay, nobody is saying something. Okay, Ileana is ready. Anybody else wants to add something? Okay, I'm sending you guys and I'll come to your breakout room if that happens. Okay, and we'll together resolve it. Okay, where is Praveen and Meron? I can't see them. You should be seeing a pop-up button. Praveen and Meron, are you seeing a pop-up button? I have assigned you to the group. Oh, you are. It's saying unassigned. Why is it saying unassigned? Let me send you. Yeah, now you should be seeing a pop-up button. Praveen, Meron has joined. I think you should be seeing it too as well. Ankit, you can stay here or you can go there, whichever way you prefer. If you want to talk to me, stay here or go there. All right, Ankit, you join them. I'll also keep going to these rooms. Ankit, you there?
Hi.
Hello.
Hey guys. Hi.
I think is this
Hello.
Hey guys.
which team number are we?
You are number 1. No, you are number 2. Just go for 2.
So we open.
And the
Perfect.
link I sent you is wrong.
Sorry?
I had shared, I randomly clicked a different one, like number 5.
Oh, okay. No, it doesn't matter because you can use that as well because we are number 1 and anything else you want to pick. So yeah.
So I'm going to share my screen just so we can all see.
Good idea.
And I can be the one to like choose the numbers or whatever.
Yeah.
So which signals of change do we want to interpret?
I'm definitely leaning into this kind of like, you hired the physical for when you need the physical, but ideally you want the digital. Like teledildonics, ASMR, virtual worlds, all of that stuff. That's where I'm thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah.
Where's the virtual world?
Number 2, offices operating entirely in virtual worlds.
Is that it? Is that all the ones?
And like the either the Rent a Family or the pet robots or the hyper realistic dolls and sex bots.
Yeah, maybe take a complete. So these 3. I mean, the first 2 have a little bit of physical part involved. Take something completely different and see if that can still do the physical. You can still make a prediction on that using that. Prediction on physical intimacy using that.
So in the 3rd column, we're also using the signals of change, but
it's driver. Yeah, it's drivers of change. Now, what's driving these signals, basically?
And we would type those in, right?
Sorry?
We would type in the driver of change.
Right. You still have to choose one more signal. Like 4 is a good number to, like an optimal number to do that.
So which one should I choose?
Let's say Japan because you were really into that one, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Awesome.
Okay. So what would be the driver of change for teledonics and haptics? And I don't really know much of this, so.
Yeah. So the question is, if remote intimacy, like if people taking remote control devices to have intimacy becomes the norm, what might be driving that change? Right, so that's taking one signal at a time, but I want you to group it with something else and then see, like if and then if people are hearing like these sexual kind of videos and that's a norm and this is also a norm, what's driving this? What's common between these 2?
Maybe
So
like
all of these together as what's the norm? Okay,
right,
gotcha.
Right, 2 at a time, 3 at a time, 4 at a time. Like what's the cluster? What's the pattern you're seeing in this? And
gotcha.
so so keep writing as many as come. One main driver you might find, but others could be secondary drivers. That's fine too. Okay. So I'll go to the other breakout room and leave you with that, and I'll come back in a minute. But I think
Thank you.
Yeah, awesome.
All right, what could be a driver for these 4?
machines do it better.
What's that?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hello.
Hey guys, oh you haven't opened your fun retro yet?
Yeah, we have.
Oh, awesome. You can share the screen. One of you can share the screen so that everybody can, or whatever way you want to do. That's all. Anyways, you can all see it. Awesome.
Okay.
So you are number 1, right? So let me
Machines
also
do it
open it.
better, more isolated lifestyle. Okay.
Yeah, Mehran.
Yes. I think.
So we need to write about like how it's shifting. Like as we have taken the topic, like
I think I've.
rent. Yeah. So we need to write on that. Those things, whatever we have in our mind, like.
I'm writing down. Yeah.
You're writing.
You guys picked the team one, is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, we are team one.
Oh, yeah. How come your board looks exactly like their board? Like they also picked this 4.
I hope they haven't clicked on. I hope they haven't clicked on our link.
Yeah. Let me see, because you picked these 4. Is it Teledildonics, ASMR, Virtual World, and Rent a Family? Is it? Which ones did you?
No, I think they clicked on our. I think because when we opened it magically, these were appearing.
Yeah, these 4 were already there.
Okay, never mind. Click on team 2. Go on team 2 then.
I have been feeling a few things already here.
No,
I have entered a couple of points.
Shit. Had you shortlisted anything already? The 4 points already? Oh, never mind.
No, not the 4 points. I thought Praveen has picked those 4, and I was adding.
Okay.
The
No, I
drivers
thought
have changed.
Ankit picked it.
Never mind, guys.
Okay. Let's go to 5. Let's choose 5.
No.
Praveen,
Don't go to
choose 5.
Don't.
5.
Sorry, don't go to 5, because they were also saying they've clicked on
not 5.
So do 2. Go to team 2.
अरे ये हो क्या रहा है यार?
Jaldi.
Okay.
So do we have all Indians over here?
Okay, 2 it is.
Meron, Praveen, you are Indian? You're from India?
क्या?
Both of you from India?
हाँ एकदम देसी.
Awesome.
I am desi dude.
Yeah, continue, guys. Okay, we have like few more minutes, 5 more minutes, 4 more minutes to fill completely. So come जल्दी से करते हैं. अरे हिंदी बोलने में बड़ा मजा आ रहा है.
Who has added this? Praveen, you have added this sales of high tech.
Yes.
ठीक है. देख भाई मैं rent a family add कर देता हूँ, ठीक है?
ठीक है.
कैसे? How do I add?
You just drag and drop, like drag and.
I have to click.
Yeah.
Acha, can you add? Acha, okay. Let me see if I can make that happen.
Otherwise, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Just tell me. Keep telling me which all do you want.
अच्छा sales देखता हूँ messages AI pet bots AI pet bot you can add
Yeah. Awesome.
और एक right
It disappeared. Oh, wow.
ये office is operating in
Virtual world.
remote dating कर देता हूँ अरे remote dating को हटा दिया मैंने
Okay.
ठीक है.
वो अच्छा ठीक है रहने दो 5
हाँ.
No problem.
These are good. हाँ. Now I want you to.
यहाँ पे तो 5 हो यहाँ पे तो there is extra columns.
हाँ ये.
Pick any 4 it says.
I mean, skip the second one. You already did it. Come to the drivers of change part. And now what I want you to think is, if the sales of, for example, take 1 or 2 at a time. 2 or 3 or 4 at a time, and see what's the pattern between them. So if you're saying sales of high-tech adult toys, so let's say this has become a norm. This is a norm. Most of the people do have teledildonics. And also Japan's rent-a-family industry is also a norm everywhere, in other countries as well. So what's the pattern between them? If both of these are true, what's the pattern between them? Or group 3 of these together. So you get it, right? So what's driving? Yeah. Like what's common between them? What's driving people to buy teledildonics? What's driving people to rent a family? Why is it happening? If both of these are true.
एक पॉइंट दे दिया मैंने.
हाँ, very good. ये तो इंडियन है, इंजीनियरिंग तो सोचेंगे, कोई और नहीं सोच सकता.
क्या? Engineering? What? Affordable cheap electronics?
Yeah, nobody will be thinking in terms of electronics.
अच्छा, who?
But it's a compliment.
अच्छा, Praveen, are you adding in the right column? Drivers of change.
Okay. I can just shift.
Drag. I think.
Yeah.
That should work. Lack of intimacy. Okay.
Very good. Good point. अच्छा मुझे ये forecast वाला है तो start करते हैं. Guys, we have like 2 more minutes. Okay, so in that you have to finish the forecast part as well. So I'll quickly tell you how.
Okay.
So for the forecast part, once you come up with these drivers, you tell me, okay, what's a norm now? By 2030, what's one big driver that's definitely a norm? And what's the norm? What's causing this thing to become a norm? Like, what's the cause for this effect? and who are at a disadvantage in this society, who are not at a disadvantage. So forecast future of XYZ, like future of marriages, future of intimacy, whatever you want to say. By 2030, this is how what the norm is, and this is what is causing it, and who is at a advantage of it. Okay, this is how your paragraph will look like. Awesome, got it. I'll go to the other breakout room, and you have 1 more minute to finish your forecast. Sorry. Okay, I'll give you 2 minutes. No, sorry, 1 more minute. Otherwise, we won't have time. Okay. 1 minute and come to the forecast part. What is the main driver? And yeah.
Oh, that's dark.
Not that I say that, but I'm familiar with it.
Yeah. Yeah. We
How's it?
have a range of digital interactions. Hello.
Hey guys, how's it going? How's the forecast coming along?
I think it's going really well.
Yay! I'm happy to hear that. Okay. Yeah.
Who is at an advantage, disadvantage here?
So looking at things now, right, with COVID, a huge disadvantaged population is people, we mentioned internet, but they don't have like a computer, right? Like let's talk about the issue in the United States, at least, that teachers are going to have to go back to work and students have to go back to school. So they're trying to figure out workarounds. Like I think I heard one was like they were trying to open up a parking lot of a library because their connection could be broadcasted to the parking lot. But it's like kids and cars and trying to do school in a parking lot, like that doesn't make any sense, right?
Yeah.
So I think a disadvantage would still potentially be lower income societies or lower income areas.
Yeah, because if we're doing everything online, it's kind of like, wait, what? You want to do that in person? Why would we do that in person? Like, yeah, there would be this sort of judgment against that.
Things in person would be question and not the norm, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I want you guys, because we'll be like we have a few more seconds left. So just to start framing the paragraph, like by 20, tell me which future you are talking about. By 2030, then whatever the rest of your paragraph is. All right. I mean, start getting that right. That's I'll yeah.
Okay.
Write a paragraph? Okay.
Yeah. Of the forecast.
Okay. Okay.
Do you want me to write and then you talk?
Okay. Yeah. So a future world where all interactions between humans are mediated by robots. And doing things in person is not normal, which puts people without internet at a disadvantage.
Without internet at a disadvantage?
Mm-hmm.
Puts people without.
Hi guys. I know that might have been a little was the second team able to finish that? Mehran and Praveen, were you able to get your paragraph done?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Ileana and Molly, do you need more time, or do you think you're done as well?
Oh, I think we got it.
Awesome. Perfect. So let's just present it. Who wants to present it first? And maybe you can just share what was the final podcast. Meron, actually, you go first. Praveen and Meron, let's go with you first. Guys, fast. We have like
Yeah,
few.
Praveen. Yeah, Praveen, you want to start?
Praveen is thinking Meron, please go. Maybe he has some technical problems.
Okay,
Yeah.
no problem. So I think
You can share your screen
wait,
also if you
I
want.
have lost.
Or maybe I'll do.
No, there are a lot of other things open around.
Okay, Molly and Ileana.
Okay, I'll read about it. I'll read
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
So around forecast, so we are using the team to dashboard. So around forecast, we expect that there will be further degradation in interpersonal relationships and further invasion of technology into private spaces. So I think it's visible to you also, right?
Yeah.
How do I?
Yeah. Continue. Just keep talking.
Yeah. Okay. So apart from that, I think deterioration in natural relations. I think it kind of talks about the first point only: further degradation and deterioration in relationships, and further invasion of technology into private spaces. So those are the key points, and there are sub points around revolving around it, like the 1, 2, 3, fourth point, which talks about building up of social disorder in familial bonds as well. So
So by 2030, there would have been a huge degradation on interpersonal relationships. Familial bonds, as they look like in 2020, are no longer the same way. There's a huge disorder in familial bonds. The way one would have interpreted relationship as like defined a natural relationship is completely changed. The definition of that is completely changed in this world. And further, technology, and this is caused by what's causing this?
what's causing this is now one of the key reasons is out there for everyone to see, which is these restrictions and the social distancing norms. But even if we ignore that, I think with the advent of technology and this great flourish of it, I think the need to go out has become it has reduced significantly. I think communication mediums have opened up. So earlier, if you had to meet someone, you had to go out to their places, call them, see them face to face. But
Right.
now with technology, you are just a call away, right? So even if you look at this forum, even if I had to meet probably Ankit, Praveen, and or you 10 years back, I had to I had to go to your place and see you in person. 30 years back, probably when phones were not there, probably I think, or even before that, 40 years back. But now
Yeah.
we can see each other really easily on this forum. I can see all of you together. So that distance has become immeasurably small.
Yeah.
So now distances are being measured in terms of, I think, bandwidth, if not kilometers on ground.
Yeah.
So why do I need to go to Dipshika's place or Ankit's place or Praveen's place to see and meet them? I can do it on Zoom or Hangout or on any other app. So that is why, and because that is not happening, the touch and the tactile things, the opportunities associated with it has also reduced, right?
Yeah,
Right,
that
because
was, yeah.
we are not giving each other that opportunity to
Hmm.
make meaningful old school bonds. Now bonds are happening over the internet and breaking there as well. So if I go to meet someone, Ankit, only then I will have more old school traditional relationships. So if you are
Yeah.
talking about things like tactile physical intimacy, because I'm not even reaching out to the women directly in person, so how those
Yeah.
physical intimacy cannot happen, right? We haven't reached a stage where we can just pierce the monitor and reach the other person. So
Yeah.
and hence there is complete breakdown there.
Yeah, perfect. That was so beautiful. I'm just trying to capture some of it, but that I really like what you said, and that is a possible future, right? we can agree. Like that is one of the possibilities. It could happen because uh, COVID, some of the things around COVID look temporary, and some of them could have a permanent effect. So what happened in 20? So if I understand what you said correctly, so what happened in 2020 was because of COVID crisis, there was social. We had to maintain social distancing for a long time. We don't know till when. During the social networking time, a lot of people opted for technology to deal with the intimacy part. And eventually they got used to it. They got even dependent on it. They started liking it. And that became a norm. And that led to people having very different kind of interpersonal interactions. And so basically lack of the reduction in interpersonal interactions actually led to defining how we relate to each other, and it's very different from what it used to be way back in 20. I know I didn't capture everything that you said, but I really like what you guys did. I'm just going to write the half-baked thing over here. That was beautiful. Good job. Good job. And do we all agree that this could happen? It's not that far-fetched, right?
It's already happening.
It's happening.
We're going to intensify.
Yeah, it will get intensified. Okay, so we are running a short of time. So Ileana, Molly, please go ahead. And if you want, sorry. And if at all you want to add anything to these people, feel free to do that, and then move on to.
So I think I can't share my screen. So if you don't mind opening up team 1.
Sure. Team 1. Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. We have a full sentence now.
There. Okay, so Molly and I picked 4 of these signals: teledonics, haptics, ASMR, office operating entirely in a virtual world, and Japan rent-a-family industry. Some of the drivers we saw were machines do it better. Just that's what we think. Avoidance of human interaction, that's already happening. More options are available now, right? For these things to be happening. Affordable electronics, satisfying curiosity. I mean, we're always curious, humans are curious beings. So just wanting to satisfy curiosity. Convenience, time saver, like how much more timely to just rent a family versus building up relationships and starting a family. So the forecast that we saw, internet connectivity isn't even an issue. Like, what even is that? Like, that's not even something that we think about anymore.
Right.
Robots are part of a society in a more human-oriented way, but also lower income areas might be affected by this, as it always is. And then doing things in person, like you guys mentioned earlier, doing things in person would not be questioned, and also doing things would be questioned and not the norm.
So I like that.
So our scenario that Molly thought through and I wrote up is a future world where all interactions between humans are mediated by robots, and doing things in person is not normal, which puts people without internet at a disadvantage.
Oh, this is so good. I haven't thought of this thing. Like robots kind of mediating the interaction, like being the in person, like the bridge between the communication between humans. That's amazing. Yeah. Do you guys want to elaborate on that? What might that look like?
Say again, I'm sorry.
So this part about interactions between humans is mediated by robots.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, right now it's not necessarily a robot, but we're being mediated by a computer, and we're on Zoom. Yeah. So these are all tools. A robot is essentially a tool, right? That we've and not only that, these tools are saving lives because we otherwise would have to meet in person. Or, you know, so it's a life-saving thing at like one of the extremes. But on a day-to-day, it's becoming more a part of our natural interaction. It's not something strange or alien to us anymore. So we're slowly, I mean, now it's more quicker because of COVID, but we're slowly allowing these tools, these robots, to kind of integrate themselves. That's the word I'm looking for. Integrate themselves into our lives on a more day-to-day basis.
Yeah. So just give like what I'm curious, and so just one day-to-day experience. Like, what's your image in your head of that day-to-day experience? Like, what might that look like with the robot?
For the future world scenario?
Yeah.
A scenario. Okay.
I've got one.
Me? Or if you go ahead, Molly. Go ahead.
Okay. So I'm gonna talk about the outlier on that interpretation signal. Sorry, I have a loud street. I would say the outlier would be ASMR, right?
Yeah.
So like maybe your relationship with someone else is mediated because you've got this like ASMR bot that is built into their headphones that every time you say like "good night, darling," it comes with this like really well microphoned, very sensual greeting. Or you know, because it's ASMR, but like maybe it's something different for whoever your partner is.
Yeah, even that example was super. Yeah, that does sound very intriguing. Like, yeah. And I'm glad you shared the image you had in mind. That makes it very much more clear. And so I got dressed. So I'll just quickly come on video. If everybody could come on video if they want to, it would be amazing. See, my head got really bad. All right, but thank